Jerry Frazee. I'm not an artist, but I play one on TV. What else? I've been doing caricatures since 1986, when my best friend gave me a call and asked me if I wanted to join him doing it. So I said yeah, and I found that it was fun and profitable, and that I really enjoyed doing it and liked the attention I got. And it was the perfect combination of my art and theater background from college. I don't think I could have ever found another job that mixed those two things together, as well as doing caricatures at parties. I never had any doubt that I was going to be doing artwork for a living from kindergarten on. I love the attention that I got from performing in front of people as far as just drawing, and people always tended to respond positively to art. So the bullies during high school, they left me alone because I could draw. The people before that were always cool with me because I could draw. Everybody was always wanting me to draw stuff for them. And of course I obliged them because I didn't want to get beaten up. And because I like to draw. I always wanted to do a comic book, and when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out initially back in, I think, 84 or 85, I'm not sure what, but they sold just boatloads of comic books. It was the first independent comic that ever sold as many comics as they did. And all kinds of small little independent comic companies started springing up. And I decided that I wanted to jump onto that bandwagon and do my own comic. Other people were doing comic books that were rip-offs of the Turtles back then, and there was a bunch of them, including things like the radioactive black belt hamsters and a couple others like that I remember looking at. And I didn't want to jump onto that bandwagon and just rip somebody off, so I decided to do Nazrat out of the blue. It was a character I'd come up with when I was laying in bed one night, and I'd seen Lord Greystoke, which I thought was a terrible movie, but the Tarzan was rolling around in my head as I was trying to fall asleep, and it flipped around backwards. I said it to myself, Nazrat, and I immediately saw all these characters and what they looked like and who they were. So the next day I got up and I drew it all out, and then I forgot about it for a while, and when my wife divorced me at the time, I started working on it. And luckily I had a job where there wasn't a lot of work and they were letting us do whatever we wanted, so I sat there at work and got paid to draw my comic book for the first 2 issues. When I went down to Fantasy Fair in Atlanta, there was a guy there with a little sign out saying, taking submissions for a new company. So I went up and showed him all the stuff I had, and he hired me on the spot. So I did that for a year and had the most fun I've probably ever had in my career. And when it got canceled, I could have put it out, but I just wasn't brave enough to spend my own money to do it. So it's been sitting on the back burner, and maybe I'll get to work on it sometime soon and finish the darn thing. It's all on my website, and anybody can read it if they want to see it. I think it still holds up pretty well. I started doing caricatures in 1986, and the same guy that showed me how to do caricatures, my best friend Kim Allman, showed me miniatures in it was 1991. And I think it all boils down to when I was 16, I was told you can't play with toy models anymore, or toys, you're too grown up for that. And I took great umbrage at that. It really ticked me off, I think, deep down in my soul. So when I started buying this stuff as an adult and seeing how much fun it was to collect it and paint it and play games with it, off it went. And now I've got 5,000 pounds or whatever of lead around this room, and rule books and scenery and everything else that makes up my daily existence. That's the problem with drawing for a living, is I don't do it as much for fun as I used to. It's something that I do every now and then, and doing miniatures tends to be artsy yet not drawing. So it's a good getaway from what I do for a living, which don't really need to get away from it that much, but you still don't want to do your job every day like most people. Oh yeah. My big claim to fame. My big claim to fame is my pterodactyl shirt that Joey Ramone wore in the Pet Cemetery video. I'm very proud of that, even though I was never a huge Ramones fan. A lot of people are, and when I tell them, they generally have a suitable amount of being impressed with the fact that not only does he have my design on during the video, it's my shirt that he came and got for me when he came to play the club here in town one time, and they were out of shirts, and the boss asked me if I had any that I could give Joey, because he was crazy for the design. They even made a birthday cake for him with the pterodactyl design on it that I had done when they came and played on his birthday at the Pterodactyl Club one time. It was kind of wild having a guy really be that nuts over something that I did. Some famous guy thinking it was just the bee's knees, as it were. But we're still printing them up and we're still selling them, even though the club's been closed since 1999. I think anybody that wants to get into art should just get out there and try as much as possible. Call professionals like myself and Eric and any of my other buddies and see if they'll sit down and talk with you. I know I have done that several times with people that have called me, and I think people are really, really shy about calling up and asking. I think parents need to encourage their kids. I did it when I was a teenager. I called up a guy here in town that was a comic book artist and went and hung out with him for an afternoon. And he gave me a lot of good advice and a lot of direction. And I think that most guys that have been in the business for a long time will do that, because we're really happy with what we do, and it'd be nice to see other people being happy in it. And we're old enough now where we're not worried about them being direct competition. When I was working for Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, teaching after school, I taught kids all over the county how to draw basic stuff, cartoon characters, emotions, action, all kinds of stuff with cartoon characters, and I have them approach me all the time now and tell me that they still are using what I showed them and everything. That's pretty gratifying too. I think I want to be remembered for the caricatures first and foremost. Nazrat, nobody remembers that. I get an email every now and then from someone that used to read it, wondering if I'm going to do something more with it, which is greatly flattering, but I am a lazy cuss when it all boils down to it, so it's like pulling teeth to get me to actually do something that I'm not being paid for immediately. Except for the miniature stuff. Now I'm going to be remembered for that because I'm known nationwide for what I do and how I do it, how I paint the figures up and the games that I run, and people over in England know me, and I've got a guy from Spain that's flying in this summer to come to a convention where I'm running a game, and he's already written me several times about how excited he is to play in my game. So yeah, I think that I'll be remembered for that to a certain degree.